Jake Paul is set to make his return September 12th. Before we get into that, hit the thumbs up, notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With that being said, let's get into the video. Before I get into Jake Paul fighting, I want to read this. This is by Usman. I understand you think this is a game, which is probably why you don't realize that this is how people truly get hurt. I don't play fighting, and I can change your life in the worst way. Jake Paul responds, let's get this straight. 1. Usman calls me out to fight on TMZ Sports interview. 2. I quickly accept the challenge to fight and will give him biggest payday of career, 10 million plus. 3. Usman then backs out of the fight because I'm a Disney kid. 4. Usman visits Disney World. Then Jake shows a picture of his daughter and him at Disney World. I cut the picture out because I don't want to put Usman's daughter out there like that, even though he already has. So with that being said, here's how I look at this. To the UFC fighters, you have to understand, you guys, as much as y'all say Jake Paul is not a boxer, or every bit as much of not a boxer, if not less of a boxer than him. That's what a lot of MMA fans don't seem to understand. That's what a lot of MMA fans don't seem to get. That these UFC guys are not boxers. As low level of a boxer as you think Jake Paul is, that's how low of a level of boxer these MMA fighters are. Israel is probably the best current striker in MMA, and he was getting dog walked in boxing, but then goes to MMA to beat people with his hands. This is the bottom line. It is a completely different sport. You can't feint the same way. Like, for instance, Usman fighting Masvidal. I can feint the takedown. I can feint a leg kick to make you look down, then hit you in the face with my hands. You can't feint like that in boxing because Jake Paul doesn't have to worry about the takedown. He doesn't have to worry about a kick, a knee, an elbow. None of that. So here's the bottom line. When it comes to boxing, if you don't have hands, elite level hands, good hands as a weapon, you will get your ass beat. It doesn't matter how many people you can beat in an octagon. It doesn't matter how many people you can pick up and slam on the ground. It doesn't matter how many people you can kick in the face. It doesn't matter how many people you can elbow. At the end of the day, you can't do that in boxing. And if you can't rely strictly on your hands to win fights, then you're not going to win in boxing. Period. And I say this not to get MMA fans mad at me, but Jake Paul explained what he is. He said, I'm a troll. I'm trolling these guys and they're taking the bait. He's fighting MMA fighters because he sees what a lot of boxers sees. Guys who are pure ass and shit at boxing. So he's exploiting them. He's got 3 years now of boxing experience and training with world-class fighters underneath his belt. He knows his limited run at boxing is still way more deep of a dive into boxing than any of these MMA fighters. And that is why he is targeting them. He is targeting them because they are easy wins when it comes to just strictly boxing. A guy, people like to say Jake Paul is low tier boxer, but as low of a tier boxer as he is, he still knocked out Ben Askren in one clean shot. Because there are levels to boxing, and his level is well beyond it. I know people don't want to hear that. People want to argue. People are going to get mad. People get thumbs down. But the bottom line is this. Usman boxing is nowhere near as good as Jake Paul's boxing. We're not talking about getting into an octagon. We're not talking about where Usman can use his hands, feet, takedowns, knees, elbows, all in conjunction to set up knockout shots with his hands. We're not, because he can't. We're talking about him just strictly using his hands against a guy who's going to strictly be using his hands. Usman may win, but he could also end up getting knocked out, just like Ben Askren. It doesn't matter if he has a title because it's completely different. Everything about boxing is alien to MMA. Just like doing a boxer stance is alien to MMA. They are completely different. And because of that, I give Jake Paul a great shot at beating Usman, if not knocking him out the same way that he did Ben Askren. You could disagree, but it doesn't matter. But off of that trolling topic and back to what's relevant. September 12th, Jake Paul says he's coming back. Who is he going to fight? It's up in the air. Who knows? But I would imagine that it's not going to be a boxer because he did say that he's not looking to fight boxers. He's looking to troll. And Even Fury's brother, he's not looking to fight Tommy Fury. He said at first, you know, he's going along with it, but then at the end of the day, the guy doesn't bring any money. He's not a big enough name. To me, that's just a bunch of back talk, to be honest with you. The dude was entertaining it, but then he knows that 9 times out of 10, Fury would whoop his ass. But he said that he didn't know Fury had a brother till Fury brought him up. Then he was like, okay, we could do it, but he's not going to fight him. So we know for sure that he's not going to fight Tommy Fury because he said he wasn't. So who is he going to fight? I don't know. I know in the interview I heard him speaking, he said he only wanted to fight MMA fighters, athletes, YouTubers, etc. So I don't know who's going to get the lotto ticket, because at this point, that's what it is. You fight him, you're going to make a couple of $1 million. He's the new lotto ticket. So that's all I really got to say on this video. Usman, you might think he's playing, but somebody else thought he was playing too, and that was Ben Askren. And all along, Ben Askren was the one playing boxer and got his ass whopped. So you could say all day that he's playing, but the fact of the matter is he's bigger than you and he's more experienced than you in boxing. And if you think it's sweet, get Dana White to let you go over there and then become another fucking meme like all these guys who have fought him and got knocked the fuck out, because you're going to be lost in there. And don't forget to comment.